Welcome to the Deep Dive. Now think about the global economy, this huge, complex machine. We usually talk about the big parts, right? Tech companies, car makers, the stock market. But what if you could tell how healthy that whole machine is just by looking at something really small? Something most of us probably never even think about, like a screw. Well, today, that's exactly what we're doing. We're diving into the, maybe surprisingly fascinating, world of the global countersunk screws market. Our mission for you today is to pull out the really key bits of info from the latest market reports. We want you to understand not just the, frankly, surprising numbers, but also why these little fasteners are, well, quietly so important for global manufacturing and construction. So, okay, first things first. What is a countersunk screw exactly? You've definitely seen them, I guarantee it, even if you didn't know the technical term. They're those clever little screws designed so the head sits perfectly level, perfectly flush with the surface it's screwed into. Think about maybe the inside trim of your car, or a smooth kitchen cabinet door, maybe even a modern building's exterior panels. Anywhere you need a clean look, no bumps. That flush fit, that's their thing. But it's more than just looking neat, isn't it? What makes these screws so vital in so many different fields?
Yeah, that's what's really interesting. The function goes way beyond just how they look. That flush fit, it's a serious engineering plus. It means nothing catches on it. You can stack materials closer together. Um, and it generally creates a stronger join without bits sticking out. So they become these really crucial components, kind of the unsung heroes in a surprisingly wide range of industries. Just to give you an idea, they're absolutely vital in automotive. Think sleek dashboards, secure panels, safety and design. Then there's aerospace. Obviously, every millimeter counts, weight is critical, reliability is non-negotiable. They're in countless places there. Construction uses them all over for smooth building exteriors, precise interior work. Electronics assembly relies on them for putting devices together tightly without adding bulk. And just, general manufacturing uses them constantly. Furniture, appliances, anywhere you need that clean, secure finish.
Wow. It's kind of amazing how that one design feature, sitting flush, leads to such a big functional advantage. And clearly, that drives demand. And when we say growing demand, we're not talking small numbers here. This market seems poised for some really significant expansion. Let's get into the scale of this. Back in 2021, what was the global market value? About $2.17 billion, is that right?
That's correct. $2.17 billion in 2021. But here's where the story really takes off. The forecast suggests this market is expected to pretty much double over the next decade or so. We're looking at reaching around $4.43 billion by 2033. And that's reflecting a steady growth rate, a compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, of 6.11%. That's pretty healthy, consistent demand.
Doubling for screws. In about 10 years.
Yeah.
That's, well, it's staggering, actually. Okay, let's unpack this a bit. What's really fueling this near doubling? Is it one big thing or a mix of factors?
It's definitely a mix, driven by some pretty fundamental global shifts. The reports point to a few key things. First, you've got increasing industrialization, particularly in emerging economies. As countries build up their manufacturing, they just need more of these basic essential components. It's foundational.
Okay, that makes sense. More factories, more screws.
Exactly. Second, there's a huge amount of infrastructure development happening globally, new buildings, bridges, transport systems. And alongside that, automotive production keeps rising worldwide. Cars use a lot of fasteners, and often they need that flush finish we talked about.
Right, for interiors, panels.
Precisely. And the third big driver is technology. Continuous improvements are making screws stronger, more resistant to corrosion. Basically, they're becoming more reliable and more versatile, which opens up even more uses for them. So, yeah, it's not just random growth. It's really tied to these major global economic and industrial trends.
It really is like a tiny indicator, isn't it? A small part reflecting these huge global movements. Fascinating. All right, so that's the big picture growth. But where is this growth actually happening? Which regions are the hotspots? Can you walk us through the geography?
Sure. Let's break it down regionally. North America is still a major stronghold. It's projected to grow significantly from around $604 million in 2021 to about $1.15 billion by 2033. The U.S. is the biggest market within that, unsurprisingly, thanks to ongoing industrial activity, construction, the auto sector. Canada and Mexico are also showing positive growth, contributing to that overall North American picture.
Okay, solid growth in North America. What about Europe?
Europe's also looking very robust. The market there is expected to grow from about $471 million to nearly $921 million by 2033. Germany and the UK are the big players there, really driven by their strengths in automotive manufacturing, aerospace, and various infrastructure projects. And, Europe's focus on high quality, on precision engineering that naturally supports demand for these kinds of reliable fasteners.
Right, quality standards matter.
Absolutely. But if you want to talk about where things get really interesting in terms of speed, that's Asia Pacific.
Okay.
Yeah, this region is forecast around 6.75%. That pushes its market value to over $1.69 billion by 2033. It becomes the largest regional market.
Wow. What's behind that surge?
Well, it's that classic combination: rapid urbanization, huge expansion in automotive manufacturing, particularly in China and India, and massive construction activity.
China and India leading the charts, then.
Definitely the leaders. But you also see strong demand coming from places like South Korea, Singapore, and across Southeast Asia as their industrial bases grow too.
Okay, so Asia Pacific is the powerhouse. Anywhere else notable?
Well, South America is also projected to see quite a significant rise, from about $128 million up to $310 million. That's mainly supported by infrastructure development and more industrial projects kicking off in countries like Brazil, Argentina, and Colombia.
Got it. And the Middle East and Africa.
They're expected to show more moderate growth. It's largely linked to investments in infrastructure there, and also the energy sectors, which need durable components.
That's a really clear global picture. It seems like these trends, industrialization, infrastructure, automotive, are playing out everywhere, just at different speeds.
That's a good way to put it. The underlying drivers are remarkably consistent across the board, even if the scale varies. We're not really seeing signs of a major slowdown in demand for these core applications. The overall direction is firmly upwards.
So bringing it all together then, what's the big so what here? How do we connect these screws back to the bigger economic picture?
Well, I think the so what is that the healthy, consistent growth in something as basic as the countersunk screw market is actually a pretty telling micro indicator of macro trends. It reflects this increasing global demand for things to be made efficiently, reliably, and yes, even look good with that flush finish. So when you see this market expanding steadily through 2033, driven by ongoing product improvements and just more industrial activity worldwide, it suggests that the fundamental global economic engine, the part that actually makes things, is in pretty good shape and gearing up.
It's like checking the pulse of global industry through one of its smallest but essential components. That's a really neat way to look at it. It underscores that idea that understanding these foundational bits gives you the unique view of industrial progress, of supply chains. It's about getting that insight quickly, but really understanding the depth. So there we have it, a perhaps unexpected deep dive into countersunk screws. Billions of dollars, nearly doubling in a decade. All for these little things holding our world together.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? And maybe leaves us with a final thought. If a seemingly simple countersunk screw can see its market nearly double because of global shifts in innovation, what other unseen, maybe boring essential components are out there quietly shaping the future?
That's a great question to ponder. Keep an eye out for those hidden heroes in the world around you. You might be surprised what you find.